Hey guys, my name is Jorge Perez and I am the owner and CEO of the JPA Property Group. So the real estate investing journey has been incredible for me. And there's so many different ways to go around it, right? When I started my real estate investing journey was about a year and a half ago in the thick of the pandemic. And I decided to do it through homeschool, which is Tariq El Musa's home school that you could do it on Zoom. And basically what it is, it's a group of real estate investors that came together. And if you guys don't know who Tariq El Musa is, he's the host of Flip or Flop on HGTV. It's a show about flipping houses. And it's a really fun show because he shows you, the before, he goes through it with a contractor, they make an educated guess. And then after that, they show the after, right? They show how much it cost, how much the bathroom was, how much the living room, the kitchen, the whole thing. So when I started the real estate journey for investing, it was really overwhelming, right? There was so much information. And just to let you know, this video specifically is about how to find a property to flip in California. Okay, you can apply most of these tips for anywhere in the country or in the world, but we're catering it to California. So basically, I learned so much, and a lot of information can be online. Obviously, you can Google how to flip a property, how to find a property. But what really made a difference for me is that I had a group of people, seasoned and new, that were really part of this journey with me. Okay, if I had to sum up like my top 10 tips on how to find a property and do this, I'll give you guys some of my best advice that I think will probably save you a lot of time and a lot of money. Even though I don't regret having had to spend all that money for the course that I did, because it's essentially a mastermind. We get together every week with all these people that are interested in real estate investing, and it's amazing. But I do think that my journey could have been done by just somebody without necessarily joining a mastermind like that, and I'll tell you how. So there are different real estate investing groups on Facebook, right? You could actually join a Facebook group and write real estate investing groups locally, right? No matter where you are. So we're focusing on California, Los Angeles, let's say, right? So what I would do is I would find those groups, and they're all over the city. I'll tell you a little bit about what happened with me. So I went to one of these real estate investing meetings, and through there, I met this guy, James. And this guy, James, started telling me about a property that he had off market. When I say off market, I mean that it's not listed on the MLS, on the multiple listing service. It's a property that he pretty much had, under the radar. So I met the guy, and he had a property in Long Beach. Super interesting. We actually became friends. He's Peruvian, I'm Peruvian. Well, I'm half Peruvian, but we had a really good rapport thing going. On a side note, he is also an eviction guy. So that's a really cool thing, because especially in California, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but the tenants have more rights than the owners. So that's one thing to notice. Sometimes, a lot of people say, and I paid top dollar for this information, that it's actually better to flip properties in California more so than buying and holding and renting, just because the tenants have so much rights. We'll talk about this in another video, because I have a property and I just went through it really hardcore with my tenants. So anyway, so this guy James was also an eviction guy, which was a great contact to know, because now I could also look for properties that had either a squatter or a tenant that was difficult, and truly ask James for his advice and be like, yo, what are my chances of being able to get this person out? And he would be able to help me. So back to my situation with this Long Beach property. He wanted me to buy it, and I was really interested in it. It was like a fourplex. I could rent out like different units, about 4 units, maybe even make a 5th one if I build the garage. So it just seemed really, really like a lucrative long-term decision. So he connected me with this woman, Damaris, who then became my lender, right? She became my, essentially, she became my broker. She connected me with the lender, right? And we started the whole journey. She connected me with this guy, Jeff, who became my, look, that's a real star of the show, El Mister. So So I started the journey of getting, my loan approved by this lender who actually happened to be in Tampa. And I grew up in Miami, so I even took a trip to Miami to see my family. The lender came with his wife. They drove down from Tampa, which meant a lot to me. Like, that's how much he wanted my business, and we were Latino, so we clicked. And anyway, by the time the appraisal came for this Long Beach house, the house appraised for $1 million. And my buddy James wanted 1.2, which means that I would have had to been out of pocket. This loan that I was getting was going to pay 90%. So I was counting on just putting 10% out of the 1.2, but now it wasn't going to cut it, because now the lender was only going to give me 90% of $1 million, because the house didn't appraise for 1.2. So after a long and kind of going back and forth, me and James had to go our own ways. And I was like, listen, I want to work with you in other ventures, but I just don't think this property makes sense for what I want to do. So that relationship kind of went on pause. But at the same time, I became friends with the lender, this guy, Jeff, who his wife was a wholesaler, which, in case you guys don't know, a wholesaler is a person that they're not real estate realtors, but they sell they sell the assignment on a home. So they could actually talk to the owner of a house, and instead of having people going into your house and doing kind of like walkthroughs and having like open houses, it's just a direct sale to one specific buyer. Most of the time it's a real estate investor. So anyway, so I became chummy with him. I met the wife, she was great, and she had a property off market, a property in Tampa. That, long story short, I ended up buying that property from her. Now that I closed, I'm in the process of rehabbing it, and it's been an amazing journey. But the point of my story, and I'm sorry if my co-star here threw you off, is that you just have to you just have to meet people. Seriously, people, you have to meet people. Find those groups on Facebook groups. Go to those real estate investing meetings locally to you. So make sure you write out, if it's Los Angeles, you write Los Angeles. And once you're there, everybody's so nice. Everybody wants to get in contact with everybody. And it's funny, I mean, I gotta tell you, I paid over $20,000 for this homeschool, and I don't regret it. It's great. I learned so much great financial education, by the way. But the biggest thing for me was meeting this guy, Joe Cohen, who's now one of my business partners in 2 different homes. But he's the one that took me to that meeting in which we met James, which now him and Joe and I are co-partners on buying this property in Watts, which is a really urban area near Compton and more in East LA. And we're in the process of getting a squatter out. We put an offer on a house that was heavily discounted because that property had a squatter. So now, because of James, the eviction guy, who I didn't end up buying his house, but we ended up working, that property is coming, the squatter's leaving, and now we're gonna start construction. So I can't begin to tell you. So anyway, so out of that one meeting that I went, I met James, didn't buy the property from Long Beach, but ended up doing the other deal with him, and then met the woman that introduced me to a lender, who introduced me to the wholesaler, and now I bought this property in Tampa. So little by little on your real estate investing journey, the more that you meet people, the more that you talk to people, all the players are gonna come into play, and it's almost like a whole new language, right? I'm sure, in case you guys haven't seen those signs that say we buy houses all cash, that could be either somebody selling you a house or somebody that wants to buy a house. And when they say all cash, it's not like people are sitting on cash. They're just able to get these, what they're called hard money loans, which is they're not by a bank, they're by private lending institutions, which just can lend you money fast, not at a cheap percentage, usually between 8 and 10%, but they get you money fast. So you can get those properties, get them out of somebody's hair really fast, maybe somebody that wants to move out that's having an emergency, and then that gives you enough time to fix the floors, fix the roof, whatever, and then you get to refinance a house for a normal loan. You get out of that hard money loan and you get either a conventional loan or all the different loans that are out there that are more long-term and not quick, let me give you money and get out of this. So I hope this made a lot of sense. The trick and the biggest tip I could give you is just go out and meet people, okay? Go out and talk to people, and you'll see how everything starts to make sense. Thank you so very much. Take care.